we are somebody who wears their granny's ring and they love it.
We just keep on walking, but never really getting old.
Last week I went into some detail about how I like to thrift and how that relates to the way that I design my jewellery. So I was just going into things like when I go thrift shopping or just shopping in general. So I was speaking about how when I do that, I like to shop for things which already fit into my personal style. You know, things like, well, I got this shirt, for example. I always like to wear a shirt. It's just, you know, something that I find really easy, throw it on. So yeah, stuff like this. When it comes to jewellery, I just do the same thing. I like to design things which I think will just slot into people's lives quite easily, and building a collection of, you know, not too many things, but building a collection of maybe 5 things which fit into somebody's life and that they can wear. That's what I was speaking about last week. This week I'm going to do another sketch for one of my Pinterest muses. If you're not sure what I mean with the muses, I've basically been making up boards on Pinterest and developing these sort of cool personas around these boards. So I've got one for a silver girl, which I did a few weeks ago, and I'll, you know, save all the things that she might be into, things like a dirty martini, you know, like chrome, stainless steel sort of interiors in her house. And I was, you know, in my head I was like, yeah, she would probably wear a lot of silver, so I designed her, you know, like a bespoke pendant. This week I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do a gold dress ring, quite a statement ring, but I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about the design process and my thought process behind why I've picked certain things for the ring in order to increase its longevity. So on that note, I'm going to design something inspired by all these amazing clothes that you can get in the charity shop that last 30, 40 years, and I'm going to design a ring that's going to last 30 or 40 or however many years. And this one is going to be gold. It's going to be for my gold muse, which I will link below, and it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be for her. I'm going to do a few things differently with this one. What I'm thinking is, in all my other rings that I've done, the way that I would imagine setting the stones is sort of like this one, where the stones are set, you know, like into the metal, so there's no claws. But I'm going to design this one with claws because I'm not against them. There's definitely ways that you can make claws, you know, quite robust, and there's lots of things we can do as jewellers to ensure that you can wear, you know, a ring with claws quite comfortably and happily, knowing that it's going to be safe and secure. When it comes to claws, we want to focus on a few things. The first would be, can we add any extra claws to help with holding the gemstones? So with that in mind, I would add a few shared claws so that the largest stone has additional support. The second is how thick we make the claws. The heavier they start off with, the longer they will last, because like I said in a previous video, gold wears away over time. Something to remember with settings like this is that the exposed edges of the diamond become a vulnerable spot for being knocked when you're going about your day. Sometimes you may not even be aware, but your stone can loosen between the setting. If you think you've done this, just take it into a jeweller and they can tell you if it's loose, and then they can tighten it for you if needed. So the various design choices which will help make this piece last longer are the heavier claws, which will take longer to wear away, the extra claws providing more support. And I didn't go into the weight or the width on this one, but I would probably like to make it around 8 to 10 grams with an average width of about 3mm, just so it stands a good chance of enduring the wear and tear over the course of its lifetime. And lastly, of course, if we want to increase the longevity of our jewellery, remember to have it professionally checked by a jeweller every year so that any unknown damages can be repaired before they get any worse. Something I've really been thinking about when I am thrifting is when I'm looking at things and I always look at the labels now. That's something that I'm really quite particular about. I always do want to know, what the material composition is. I want to know if it's like a good material, if it's something, like maybe 100% cashmere or, like a vintage leather jacket. These are the types of things which I'm really looking out for. I really want something that's obviously lasted a full lifetime and now it's ended up in a charity shop and it's ready for me to buy it and for me to wear it for like my whole lifetime. So that really got me thinking about the jewellery that we all wear and what is going to make these things really last the way that these clothes that are sitting in the charity shop have lasted. These things, they've been made well in the beginning, and maybe this lady who had it, I'm making assumptions, but most of the things in the charity shop, if it's been like your grandparents, the chances are they've kept that for a really, really long time. So they've maybe had that for, I don't know, let's say 20 years. That might be over exaggerating it, but I like to think that the person had that for a long time. It could even be longer, but they've had that for so long. It's ended up in the charity shop, and now I'm going to buy it and I'm going to wear it, and it's going to last like almost the same like length of time because you can just tell it's good quality. So it's got me thinking about our jewellery and how we need to make sure that our jewellery is going to do the exact same thing. We want our jewellery to start off being really well made, really well designed, so that when we eventually come to handing it down, don't want to think that far ahead in the future, but some people do think like that. You really want to think about, like, how can I make sure that this piece is going to last all the way to the point where you become a mum or then you become a granny, and you want to pass that down to somebody and it's lived a full life, and then you're passing it to somebody to live another full life. We all know somebody, or we are somebody who wears their granny's ring and they love it and they wear it. So let's start thinking like our grannies, and what would our grannies do?